welcome to my channel one more time. I am going to talk to you about Bigfoot in the Philippines. I've been to the Philippines a few times. I'm going to show you some country view while we're talking. I'm driving. So let me switch the camera here. In 1997, I was in a place called Sanchez, Mira in Cagayan Valley in the Philippines, and that place is as far as you can go north, basically. There's 7,400 or 7,700 islands. I think 7,400 islands that people live on. And I had got married, and I'm divorced now. I'm single now, but I had gotten married in 1997, and of course my ex-wife was Filipino, and I was at her family's house in Sanchez, Mira, and there was these, I guess, volcanic eruptions whenever, you know, hundreds of thousands of years ago or whatever it was, and they looked like, they were shaped like broomsticks, but they were huge, and they went up in the air about 100 feet, maybe a couple of them even 200 feet. And they were just, they looked shaped like a handle of a broomstick, and they were rock formations, and they just shot straight up out of the ground, and they just looked really, really neat. And I could see them from her father's house, and they looked about a half a mile away, and maybe some of them were as far as a mile away. And I made a decision, hey, you know, I want to go see these things. So I'm sitting on the porch, and it's boring, you know. Everybody's speaking in a different language unless they talk to me. And then, you know, they had broken English. And I want to see this, you know, these formations. I'm going to switch this camera. I got another holder here. I'm going to switch this camera so you can see the road better. I'm going to try to do it really fast. Well, I can't. I got a truck coming up behind me. So I just said, hey, I'm going over to the mountains there. And she said, no, you can't go there. We don't go there. I'm like, whatever. And I'll be back in a few minutes, you know, or whatever. And I'm walking toward this. It's kind of a flat area, and there's a jungle area behind her house. You go through that jungle type setting, you go into a rice field, and if you pass the rice field, there's another little small jungle setting, and then I would be at the ocean. And the other direction was the mountains. And they're really too steep to climb. There's nothing there. It's just, and there was some vegetation growing on those mountains, banana trees and things, but they kind of shot straight up in the air, and everything grew off the side of it. It was a very, very odd structures, and I never really got to, you know, explore those. But I started walking, and I guess when she said, no, you can't go there, that was supposed to be enough for me, but it wasn't. So I'm walking. About 7 minutes later, something like that, I hear lots of screaming and yelling, and people screaming Gigante, Gigante, Gigante. And I don't know what Gigante means. I know what it means now. It means giant. And I am still walking, and I look back, and there's about, I don't know, 15 or 20 Filipino people, and they are running toward me, and I'm like, oh, wow. People are upset with me. They're mad, you know. Maybe somebody's going to hurt me, you know. And I think, man, I got to fight, you know. And I realized my wife-to-be, we weren't married yet, is in the mix of these people. And they grabbed me talking in their language, not in English, and they surrounded me, pulling on every part of my body almost, about to tear my clothes off of me, trying to drag me back to, you know, her father's house. And I had no idea what was going on, and she's not even talking to me. And everybody's screaming. I can't hear understand what anybody's saying, and I'm freaked out. So I said, okay, let go of me. And I'm screaming, just kind of, get your hands off of me, And when I get back to her father's house, they said, hey, you can't go there because Gigante. And I'm thinking, what is Gigante? What are you talking about? Are you crazy or what? And this is 1997, and I did not know, legitimately did not know, because I worked every day of my life almost. Didn't watch TV. There wasn't any internet at the time. There wasn't any YouTube. I did not know what Bigfoot really was. I thought it was just some kind of crap. And these people didn't have, they didn't have TV. Their TVs didn't work. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have house phones. They didn't have access to the outside world. Very few people there in that city in that whole area had a phone, and they were very scarce, from what I understand. And the nearest phone was about 15 miles away, because there weren't any lines or power ran to that area. As far as cable, didn't exist. They had electricity. It was very dim and weak, and a couple light bulbs in the house. They had a kind of a decent house that made out of cement block, but they did not have any modern communicational tools. They would have to call somebody, which would call somebody, which would go see somebody, which would go visit somebody, which would go on down the 20 miles away to tell somebody, on and on and on until, that was their location. And what happened was, I really never thought about it, truthfully. 10 years later, I'm like, wow, these people didn't see any movies about Bigfoot. They didn't, I started learning who and what Bigfoot was supposed to be, So I'm like, man, this must be real. They got Gigante. Her father said they killed one back in the 40s or something, or 50s or whatever it was, and it filled an 18-wheeled trailer. I don't know what that means, okay? But I'll never forget. He was telling her to tell me, and that they had a son. It was a family of Bigfoots, and you don't go there because they eat flesh. They will eat anything, and they eat people. And that if I went there, they would kill me. And I said, well, I'm big, and the monkeys were afraid of me. I was white. They were scared of me. They would shit themselves and run, basically. He said, no, their child is your size. So he was saying a 6 to 7 foot man is the same size as a baby Gigante. And he said they have seen many of them. And he said, if you make him mad, they'll come in and smash your house with rocks. And that's it. That's all I can tell you. I just want to share that with you. Thanks for being here.